Hey guys, Football5 here with another episode of the Crystal Palace career mode on FIFA 23. We're kicking it off, seeing that Mohamed Salah has won the Ballon d'Or for this year, and also showing we will be just about to face him in the league. So the first game, after he is the official Ballon d'Or winner, is up against ourselves. Can we keep him quiet? Can Tyreek Mitchell be the man that kept the Ballon d'Or winner silent? Well, we have a pretty weird record against Liverpool. Quite a few times, well, I think the two times we played them, I think we went up 1-0 in both of those games, and then we ended up losing. So, if we can hold on to that 1-0 win, or at least get a decent goal, and who's that man? It's Alexander Fletcher getting the goal. He's now scored against City, he scored against Liverpool, scored against Arsenal, he scored against Chelsea, Spurs, and I think he scored against United. So I think he scored against every top 6 team in the Premier League. So for someone who's only been in the league for 2 seasons, to have scored so many goals from central midfield is insane. He's the next Frank Lampard. You know, he's the next top goal scoring centre midfielder, like a Yaya Toure. That's what he's like, because he's tall and he can defend, and he's just, yeah, next Yaya Toure. But you did see there, Doucouré went down with an injury on the edge of the box. He was forced off. Riedewald was come on as a substitution, and that is a bit of a blow. Doucouré, since we converted him to a CDM, became an 80 rated player, and he was insane in that position. One of the main reasons we're so high in the league is because we pushed him back to CDM, and we've also allowed for a Rebo and Loftus-Cheek and all these more creative people going forward, because he will sit back, he will do the defensive duties, do the dirty work, and that helps us to score more goals than last season. But unfortunately, he went off. Riedewald's not quite as good. He's decent, Riedewald, especially at winning headers, but he's not quite the same defensively as Doucouré, and we do go 2-1 down, both goals coming through Darwin Núñez, and it's unfortunate that it came because of the injury, but Edouard is through on goal. Edouard 1-on-1, Edouard puts it past Alisson, and there is now back on level terms. There's a real chance now, because we keep catching him on the counter-attack. We've got the pace, we know we can beat Van Dijk and Matip for pace, especially Matip, and even their wingers. Obviously they've signed Theo Hernandez at left back, so he's no slouch for pace. So switching down the other end, get Trent up against Eberechi Eze. You know how that's going to end. Eze is going to bang it in the back of the net, as we're going to try that. Coming down our left, their right, Loftus-Cheek dinks into the back post. Fletcher's there. Fletcher goes and gets what could be the winner in the 84th minute of the game. He makes it 3-2, goes to celebrate. Like I said, he was a season ticket holder here. He's a youth boy, come from London. Fletcher, he's living the dream right now, because he's potentially just scored the winner against Liverpool at Selhurst Park for our first victory over Liverpool as Palace manager. But the ball's whipped in. Terrible defending. No one's marking Diogo Jota. He's on the penalty spot unmarked, and he just volleys it past Dean Henderson. He makes it 3-3. They reply to our goal instantly, and the points are shared. Not too bad. 3-3 against Liverpool. Scored 3 against Liverpool, man. Scored 3 against Van Dijk and Alisson. Not too bad when you think about it. But we come into this one, the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, taking on Spurs. No real... well, basically, we're probably one of the weaker teams left in this competition. So... yeah, it's going to be a difficult one, but we're playing the highlight mode, whatever it's called. 46th minute, the ball's played over the top, played back to Lo Celso, Bentancur, Richarlison, whatever. We've got the rotational boys out. Unfortunately, they slot in at the near post, and that's going to be it for that game. We're knocked out of the Carabao Cup, unfortunately, by Spurs. Maybe I should have played the first team in this one, but it was a heavily congested period, and we just needed rest because we wanted to focus on the Premier League. The Carabao Cup is not... of the 2 cups, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup's never the priority. It's always the FA Cup that you want to win. So we'll go full hard push in the FA Cup. yeah, we want the Premier League. The Premier League, we want to get Europa League football, European football at the minimum. So Conference League would even be good for ourselves. But Wolves, the first chance they have, they hit the post with a lovely little free kick, but then they whip the ball in. I think we've cleared it. Chicharito on the edge of the box skips past a few of our players. So eventually finds Giancarlo Guedes in the box, and no one's touched tight to him, and he can just easily take the touch and slot it past Dean Henderson, making it 1-0 to Wolves. And it seems like they've not got the problems they've got in real life in the game, as Martial making his first game back since his little knock he picked up. He was out for a few games. He's back now, and he's ready to get back on the score sheet as Olise plays it into him. He holds off his man, strikes it on his weaker left foot into the back of the net. They weren't in the lead for very long, because we've got Tony Martial scoring the goals for fun. He's very close, I think, to 20 goals this season, and I think we've only just passed the halfway mark. We're not even in January yet, is what I should say. So he's putting up Haaland type numbers, like I said in the previous episode, and he's doing it for fun. Now, coming into January, I think we have 10 million on the transfer budget, and we've got a little bit of, a few players we could sell to potentially raise the budget. There's not really a position I think we need anyone too badly, so I think I might focus on some pre-contract agreements with some players, and with the actual money itself, maybe I'll buy a new scout. But there is not really any positions we need right now. Maybe some backup in some certain positions. But as for actual first team players, there's nothing really that we need. As we come into the final game of today's episode, this is going to be the penultimate game before January. So next episode, we will be in the January transfer window, and we will be looking to sign some players. But we know the Brighton and Crystal Palace rivalry. They hate each other's guts, and we got to pick up the win. Obviously, we've beat them at the beginning of the season. I think it was Martial's first game. I think it was one of the first games of the season. I think Martial got 2 goals in that one. So to do the double over Brighton would not be too bad, and we're creating a lot of chances early on in this one. Obviously, last season we won at the Amex. They won at Selhurst Park. This season, we've won at Selhurst Park, and we are doing really good at the Amex so far. As Eze, up against Lewis Dunk, skips inside, plays it to Martial, just going to try and get the better of Webster, does exactly that. Couple of step overs and a body feint, cuts inside, and he slots it past Robert Sanchez to put us 1-0 up, to get another goal on his tally. And I do think that is, that's 22 goals in the Premier League on match day 18. So halfway through the season, he's on 22 goals. He's on track for 44 goals and absolutely smashing the Premier League record this year. Obviously, I've done it once before, broken the record once before with Donyell Marlon on the West Brom career mode. I think we got up to 38 goals with him. We might have even broke 40, but we are on track with Martial to smash the record and potentially get 40 goals. So him and Donyell Marlon could be the only two that I think I've ever broken the record with on YouTube. I can't think of anyone else that's done it, so that should be fun. But Alexander Fletcher, they equalise straight off of kickoff from their goal, and then we go down the other end. In the second half, Fletcher getting another goal against Brighton. I think that's his second in just the few games that he's played against them. Puts us in front, deservedly so, I will say, because we have been dominant in this game. The final chance of the game is going to come to them. An unmarked Undav in the box. Well saved by Dean Henderson. We pick up all 3 points. We have done the double over Brighton this season. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. If you have, please like, subscribe, and peace.